Hello, 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 and welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on the planet. Come on in, let's get settled. My name is Anthony Carter. I'm the host, producer, creative genius, madman, and brilliant mind behind a movement entitled That Plant Life, a movement dedicated to supporting Black men 40 to 60 who are committed to combating hypertension without the use of medication and the addition of a whole food plant based lifestyle. Let me say that one more time for the end of 2024 and for the cheap seats in the back. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on the planet. My name is Anthony Carter. I'm the host, producer, creative genius, madman, and brilliant mind behind a movement entitled That Plant Life, a movement dedicated to supporting Black men 40 to 60 who are committed to combating hypertension without the use of medication and the addition of a whole food plant based lifestyle. Welcome, come on in, get settled, let's get started. The title of my talk this week is Eat Smart This Holiday. Redefine traditions, reclaim health. Eat smart this holiday. Redefine traditions and reclaim health. How would we go about doing that? Well, let me give you what I believe are three very pivotal points to do just that. As you guys know, every week I'm always looking for things that are both simple and easy to apply and create particular results. And I believe I have found it. So, the first thing you can do to redefine your traditions is to come up out of the category of maybe. Now, I've talked about this before, but I believe it needs some reframing, a refresh, an opportunity to look at it again. Stop with the maybe, right? Things should be either hell yes or hell I'm not going to be bothered, period, right? I have only gotten in trouble when I have wandered around in the maybe, right? Wandered in the world of the maybes and maybe this, maybe that, always, always, always leads to trouble. So, for example, many years ago when I decided to move to New York City, that was a definite hell yes. That was not a maybe. That was not a no. That was a hell yes. Yes, it was difficult. Yes, I struggled. Yes, there were times I had no money. Yes, there were times I was hungry, but it was a definite yes, right? When I did that definite yes, I met all kinds of wonderful people all along the road, right? Who could help me, who could move me along further, who said, hey, you should try stand up. So I tried that. That was a definite yes for a hot minute. That's a topic for another conversation. I met people who said, hell yes, you should be on stage. You should be doing theater. I did theater. There were people who said, hell yes, you should be doing a tour. You should be singing and dancing and going all over the country. And I did that for months at a time. I was in Beauty and the Beast on the road for 3 months many years ago, singing and dancing my little heart over, singing and dancing my little heart out all over the country for about 12 weeks. So, yes, we want to say yes to things or no. Living in the maybe is costly, right? Nobody is impressed, nobody is moved, nothing changes, things don't happen when you live in maybe. Now, here's the next point about moving from a maybe to a yes or no. Now, this is something I know is going to cause a bit of controversy, but oh well, here we go. Now, does anybody remember Sanford and Son? It used to come on Fridays when I was a little boy, and we loved it. And we used to love it when he would call his son the big dummy, right? I had a friend, we had a job, and sometimes in our company, people would do things that were just dumb, right? Plain dumb. And so every Friday, she and I would get together and have a good yuck. And we would say, okay, who gets the big dummy of the word of week this week, right? Maybe it was me, maybe it was a client, who knows? But that's the second thing. Um, is to be, be a big dummy, right? There are people that I know, myself included, who are super, super intelligent, and that gets in our way. We overthink, we overplan, we come up with all 101 different ways things couldn't work out. We come up with 102 different ways things could work out. And a lot of times we end up just kind of wavering because we don't quite know what to do. We outthink ourselves, right? We think too much. I say be dummy. I've known some dummies in my days who don't think about anything, and it seems to work out for them. They just go ahead and do stuff, let the chips fall where they may. My suggestion to you is, if you don't know a big dummy, find one or be one yourself Let the chips fall where they may. Stop the overthinking and just get in there and make something happen. Which leads me to my third and final point, which is um, with or without you energy. Now, this very much dovetails with the whole big dummy part, right? When you have with or without you energy, it looks a certain way. You move the world a certain way. People get out of your way who are either with or without that energy, they move it along. Let me give you an example. When I ready to get healthy, right? I didn't ask anybody's permission. I didn't ask people what they thought. A lot of people that I know, a lot of people that I know who love me, a lot of people that I know in the world in general told me that I was black and male and in my 50s and having high blood pressure and having hypertension and being on medication is just the way that it is, right? Even doctors told me that. I had to say, well, with or without you, I'm doing this. With or without you, I'm going to get healthy. With or without you, I'm claiming my health and going to have some new traditions. I decided to have the new tradition. I was going to be a medical miracle. I decided I wanted to live in a world and be a part of a world where I was not sickly, where I was not depending on pills, where I was not aching and moaning and everything hurt and getting up in the morning was a dirge and walking down the steps was a dirge. I decided that I want that life, right? With or without you energy. It also looks like this. Sometimes you may have to leave a job. You may have to leave a partnership. You may have to leave a marriage. You may have to walk away from something that just isn't working because you are using with or without you energy. It also looks like this. Many times you get ready to move forward, and the people that we know, the people who have been a part of our ecosystem for a year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, cannot be a part of the journey, right? You got to move with or without energy when you're moving to those kind of things. For example, let me go back to my health. I know a lot of folks who say, it just is the way that it is, right? Then I know a lot of people my age and younger who have gone on to glory because they decided that they were just going to do things the way that everybody else told them to do them. They did not operate with or without you energy. With or without you energy will move the planet. It moves the world. Think about Martin Luther King. Think about Mandela. Think about anybody who's done anything substantial on the planet. They had to move with the energy that was with or without you. There were people around them, I'm sure, who said, well, why don't you wait? This isn't a good time. This isn't the most opportune moment. Why don't we give it a decade? Why should you go first? Why shouldn't we have somebody else do it? No, 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 people. We want with or without your energy. This is happening, period. Now, that will cause some feathers to be ruffled. Oh, well, go back to number two, like I said, and try being a big dummy. Folks that are, the big dummies that I know are not concerned about what people think, right? So I'm going to wrap up here. Please, please, please introduce these new traditions in your life. Introduce them next year. Introduce them today. Introduce them now. If you'd like to work with me and create some new traditions. If you want to work with somebody who moves through the world with without your energy, reach out to me, give me a call, give me a ring, set up an appointment with me on Calendly. I am looking for five, yes, five, five black males, 40 to 60, who have been affected by hypertension, who want to work with me to reverse their diagnosis, who want to work with me to combat what everybody on the planet is telling them they should be about. So if you know five black men, 40 to 60, affected by hypertension, affected by high blood pressure, have them reach out to me. My link is in the chat box below or above, wherever they put it. I'm not quite certain. Haven't figured that out yet, but it is in there. Reach out to me. Let's figure out how we're going to work together. Have a great year. Have a great next year. Have a great life. I'm going to sign off now. My name is Anthony Carter. I'm the host, producer, creative genius, madman, and brilliant mind behind a movement entitled That Plant Life, a movement dedicated to supporting Black men 40 to 60 who are committed to combating hypertension without the use of medication and the addition of a whole food plant based lifestyle. Let me say that one more time for the cheap seats in the back. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are on the planet. My name is Anthony Carter. I'm the host, producer, creative genius, madman, and brilliant mind behind a movement entitled That Plant Life, a movement dedicated to supporting Black men 40 to 60 who are committed to combating hypertension without the use of medication and the addition of a whole food plant based lifestyle. Now, get out of here. Go take care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones. Let your loved ones take care of you. Get some plants on that plate. And most importantly, eat like you got some sense. I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.